Ask Me Anything by Radical. I am a teenager with blind parents. Ask me anything. My mom and dad are both blind. My mom can only see bright light, while my dad is only legally blind, meaning he just has really bad vision. 200 with correction. They have both been blind all their lives. My dad is out of state right now, but both me and my mom are taking questions. So ask away. Don't worry about sounding stupid. We've probably heard worse. Proof. Were you able to get away with a lot of shenanigans since your parents couldn't see the things you might have been hiding? Not really. I never felt the need to. I snuck some cookies as a little kid, but turns out my mom always could hear me. Is it worthwhile to describe what things look like? Or just pointless? My husband's great aunt is legally blind and my in-laws are always describing things to her. Decor. Clothes. Appearances. Not important stuff. I'm not sure if she finds that useful or interesting or if she is just being polite. She has not always been blind though, so maybe it's different. My mom finds it very interesting. She wants her clothes to match and is interested in the color of things, even though she can't see color. Have your folks ever said you can't go out looking like that? No, but I think it's more a girl thing. My parents have told my older brother that he shouldn't wear shorts and a sweatshirt. When we were little they made sure we matched so people didn't think they didn't take care of us. Are you blind or is there any chance of you becoming blind? Does that scare you or are you comfortable to see people can be happy even though they are blind? Good question. No, I am not blind. I actually have better than average vision with my glasses, and there is no extra risk for me. Although my aunt on my mom's side is also blind, so it may run in the family. I definitely would not want to be blind. But I don't think I am as scared as the average person. I would miss out on some things I enjoy like photography and video games. But I know I could still function and enjoy life. To your mom. What do dreams look like? As a sighted person in my head it's like a film. Has she ever dreamed of colors? She says good dreams look bright. Bad dreams look dark. She can't see anything, but she can do things like driving that she can't usually do. Okay, this question might just be because I have young kids. But how then hell does a blind person change a diaper? I just can't imagine any way I could pull it off with my eyes closed. Mad props to your parents. She says practice. As a kid, how'd you get around? Since your parents couldn't drive you places, did you take public transport or did you have someone else drive? Since no reply I thought I'd share that many have taxes with special prices for people in need like blind people and other handicaps. But probably they all took public transport mostly because it's the cheapest. Do your parents like audiobooks? My mom does. Although she prefers reading Braille. My dad does not, but he can read print. How did your parents get together? Is there a meet cute story there? They met working a summer program for blind kids. My dad proposed at the end of the program 2 years later. Do you ever get mad at them and rearrange the furniture? No. Lol. But I might have to now. Do you assist as a caregiver or aide to your parents? Are you expected to? Or do you plan on stay living at home long term to help them out? No. Never. They have always taken care of me. I do not plan on staying long term. And I already have a brother who has moved out. Blind people are a lot more independent than people seem to think. Maybe a silly question but I've wondered how cooking would be for a blind person. Are there any tricks your parents use or is it just like anyone else cooking? Not OP. But a daughter of a totally blind parent. We tend to cook for her just because it's easier. And she is the breadwinner in the household. She likes to focus on her work. On those occasions where she gets it into her head to cook, she does test whether water is boiling by sticking her finger into it. She's kind of able to put mind over matter when touching things. And her adapts her sensitivity of touch according to the scenario. She cooks like anyone else. We have Braille labels on the oven. And speaking kitchen scales. There's an amazing tool available now which lets you stick little dots onto items and record a quick audio bit onto it. which my father and I use to label food items as we unpack supermarket shopping. Flaw: it's really hard for her to find the label to play the audio recording using the little audio pen provided. We try and keep our placing consistent. The greatest hazard is her walking into, and possibly falling over, the open dishwasher door. We holler like hell all the while that's open until we close it again. Because she has walked into it once or twice and it's really painful. You have no cushioning on your shins. Firstly, hello, how are you doing? Secondly, do you ever fear you may lose your sight one day and does it scare you? I'm doing good. I answered that in another comment. But not very. No. I still don't want to lose my sight. But I know I can function. Are you fluent in reading Braille? Do you know how to use a Braille writer machine? Do your parents use a Perkins Brailler or the new modern speech-to-text Braille electronic gadgets? I can read Braille. But I am not fluent. I just read letter by letter. I only know how to write with a slate and stylus. My mom uses a Perkins for some writing, but also has a Braille display to write on her phone, and can type on a laptop. Do they have a favorite movie? TV show? My mom's favorite TV show is This Is Us and favorite movie is Steel Magnolias. My dad's favorite movie is Duel. Why did I think the proof picture would be you shining a really bright light into your mom's eyes? Haha. No. But her dad used to shine light in her eyes late at night because the eye doctor did not think she had light perception. And he wanted to prove she did. It's one of her earliest memories. 3. Itch. Questions. 1. Is that you in the green shirt with the square framed glasses? 2. Does mom find it easy to locate stuff in her bag purse? Does she have a method? 3. Why? Just why? Why do you have an outlet with USB ports if you are going to plug in an adapter? Thanks. The ports on the wall plug probably don't fast charge. In the deaf community, I've read that there can be a sense of pride in that they don't see themselves as differently abled. They would not ask for hearing ability even if they had the option. Have you guys noticed anything like that in the blind community? Not OP, but in blind community. I have many friends in both communities. Of course, both disabilities are profoundly difficult to live with. If I were deaf, I would desperately miss being able to talk with people easily. Scientific studies indicate that 70-90% of sensory perception is visual. How much exactly depends on the study. There are many. Perhaps following this fact, I have yet to meet a blind or visually impaired person who wouldn't leap at the chance to see. We've had extended conversations about the nature of sight. Many times. I know the deaf community is quite tight. And there is a sense of solidarity. And deafness underlines their identity and community. As you say, they embrace being differently abled. Though the blind people I've met are an excellent support to each other. And being blind certainly informs their identity. Everyone I know would take on sight in a heartbeat. They would chew off your left arm and sell their kidney to see. But they are usually very good natured and accepting of life the way it is. And they find ways to be happy. Has there been times when you wish they could just see, like I know you would want them to always, but like standout times? Now that I've written this question it sounds silly, but I hope you get what I mean. What's something different you think having both of them blind you've learnt in your upbringing? And when you were a kid, how did they teach you stuff like this is a duck act? Question mark. There are no specific time I can think of. I'm just so used to it. I do remember one day when I was playing and asked my mom if she saw me. And she said she couldn't, but she knows I did good, and it really clicked for me that she couldn't see. I think having blind parents taught me to be more accepting in general. And learned that blindness is not the end of the world. We also did more walking busing. My dad could see things to point them out. But my mom would listen for things and also use books to teach me. Do your parents know what you look like? Was this ever a discussion you had? Does what you look like and what they think you look like differ? How did you get to school and around town as a child? Buses and walking. And Uber and Lyft when they became a thing. What is the support around you like, for example? Friends? Family? Teachers? I don't think anything out of the ordinary. My parents raised me like any others would. I have friends and 2 brothers. and some family that I'm close to. Is the house decorated at all? Or is it simply functional? They are definitely decorations, but not as much as some other families. Don't think it's because of blindness. More us kids not wanting too much stuff all around. What caused the blindness in both of them? For mom, Leber's amorous and she was born with it. For dad, he was born premature and was given too much oxygen. Are your parents independent or do they need help? I ask because I knew a blind girl at my college who was never independent at all. It wasn't because she was blind that I was shocked. It was because her mum was also blind, so I would have thought she would taught her how to handle the world without sight. I also watch blind YouTubers like Molly Burke and she's very independent. In case you don't see it, OP already answered a similar question, saying that her parents are very independent. Is there something about life in general, meaning not something specifically academic, that your parents couldn't really teach you/you had to learn on your own? And is there something you're surprised they were able to teach you so well? My dad is missing an eye and my mom is legally blind. And they both are experiencing their vision deteriorating. My mom has retinitis pigmentosa, spelling. And my dad's vision is just getting worse with age. His mom has a lazy eye that lost vision not long ago and we're afraid that the same thing will happen to him. I'm pretty sure that I am going to have to take care of them sooner or later. It's not the practical day-to-day stuff I'm worried about. I already lead my mom by the elbow when we're in public spaces. I know to keep the house today so as not to cause my mom to trip over stuff she can't see, etc. I'm worried about the existential stuff. All this context given to ask this question. How do your parents deal with the non-practical aspects of being blind? Are there support groups? Other resources? My parents are very bad about discussing their feelings, especially with their kids. How can I make sure their emotional needs, as they relate to their loss of sight, are taken care of? Appreciate your time. My parents are very involved with the NFB, and I would definitely recommend finding a NFB training center in your state to help your parents learn to function without sight. Was the blindness gradual or were they born with it or was it sudden? Did you ever just not bother getting dressed if you weren't planning on going out? No. Especially because my dad can see some. But even without that, it would just feel weird. Users, please be wary of proof. You are welcome to ask for more proof if you find it insufficient. OP. If you need any help, please message the mods here. Thank you. I am a bot, and this action was performed automatically. Please contact the moderators of this subreddit if you have any questions or concerns. Did you get tired of having to compensate and help them as the sighted person in the family when you should just be doing kid things? I know that first generation kids get tired and stressed with translating. Figured it would be same. In case you don't see it, OP already answered a similar question, saying that she, I think, never had to help her parents. Thanks for watching. Subscribe for 3 videos a day.